Students, good morning to all of you. This is our next session of social science class. I hope all of you are safe and comfortable at home. You may be watching everyday's news details so you know how much dangerous is the present social condition. So please be aware about the present situation and stay at home safely. Follow the instructions and guidelines given by everyone. Don't think that these are all silly things. Okay, so wash your hands properly with the soap lotion or soap. Then take hot food and hot water, and this wear mask if you are going outside. Keep social distancing. Okay, there is no need to make me remember all these things, but we are all one family members. So each family member will every day remember all these things to you, so that we think about your security and safety. Okay. So last class we have discussed about the importance of manufacturing industries. What is the contribution of manufacturing industry to GDP, and we have also discussed about how it modernizes other sectors of the economy, or how each sector of the economy is related with each other. All these things we have discussed in our previous class. So today we are dealing with the classification of the industries. You know what is the classification of industries. Already you have studied some classifications in the sectors of the economy, is it? So here we have some classifications of the industries are there. So we will find out what are the classification of industries. So we can classify the industries based on different aspects. One classification of industries is based on the raw materials of the industry. This already we have discussed in the sectors of the economy. So you know what is the classification of industry based on the raw materials of the industry. What is the classification of industry based on the raw material? Some industries use agricultural products as its raw material. So they are called agro-based industries. Their raw material is agricultural products. Come on, fast, say the examples of agro-based industries. Abhiram, tell me, come on, one example, tell me fast. The food grains, or we are making different articles of food. I told you vegetables, vegetable soup making, or from fruits, jam, this juice, all these we are making. These are all agro-based industry. The cotton textiles which we wear, it is made from the cotton balls. The jute bags or jute products which we use, it is made from jute. So these are all examples of agro-based industries. You know many examples, we have discussed it in our sectors of the economy. Then some industries are using minerals as their raw material. They are called mineral-based industries. Minerals are used by industries as their raw material. They are called mineral-based industries. Come on, tell me first the examples of mineral-based industries. Karthik, come on, tell me first. Everyone is saying, I know. What are the examples? Iron and steel industry, aluminum industry, gold industry, diamond cutting industry. Is it or not? A lot of examples we can say. Automobile making industry are using minerals as their raw materials. So there are two classifications I told. Based on the raw materials of the industry, we can classify the industries into agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. That is one classification of the industry. What is the next one? Based on the main role of the industry. The role of the industry, we can classify key industries and consumer industries. So your project is on consumer rights. Who is a consumer? How the consumer is exploited in a market. So we are using a lot of consumer products. Is it or not? So based on the main role of the industry, we can classify as key industries. Means key is how much important for a house we know. For any lock, key is very much important. So from the word itself it is clear that how much important is these industries are. So come on, tell me first the key industries. All of you know, I know. Swarna Lakshmi, tell me first some example for the key industry. Iron and steel industry is a key industry. From the small safety pin to the largest machinery what we use is made out of iron and steel. Iron ore or steel products or mixture of iron with some other minerals, we are making a lot of products. So it is a very important industry. The word key means here important industry. So iron and steel industry is called a key industry. Now consumer industries. A lot of examples are there. I can hear the examples. Come on, fast. All of you say one example. Shivbala, come on, tell me one example. All the consumer goods what we make. Food items, clothes, bags, shoes. A lot of examples we have. The mobile phone what we are using, the electronic items what we are using, all these are consumer goods. So based on the main role of the industry, we can classify as the key industry and the consumer industry. Based on raw materials, we can classify as come on, tell me, Joel. Agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Very good. Then, based on the weight of the raw material used, based on the weight or bulk of the raw material used, bulk means heavy, weight of the raw material used, we can classify as heavy industry and light industry. So, the industries which are using heavy raw materials for their processing are called heavy industry. That also example. Iron and steel industry is an example. Light industry, they are industries which use light raw materials, simple raw materials. They are called light industry. Not in the sense of the light which we are using, sunlight or any other electric bulbs. Based on the weight of the raw material, we can classify as this heavy industry and light industry. So we have studied three classifications. One is based on raw materials, agro and mineral based industry. Based on the key role of the industry or important role of the industry, key industry and consumer industry. Based on the weight of the raw material, we can classify as heavy industry and light industry. Now, the next major classification of the industry is based on the ownership. This also already have studied in the sectors of the economy. But is based on the ownership. Come on, tell me. Come on, fast. Ganga Manoj, come on, tell me. Public sector. Ganga S. Babu. Private sector, Neha Sunil. Cooperative sector, come on, Akshara. Joint sector, I have written on the board, is it? So, based on the ownership, we can classify public sector, private sector, joint sector and cooperative sector. So, you know what is public sector, which is owned and operated by the government. We have already discussed in the sectors of the economy this also. State one example. Krishna Dev, state one example. The railways, public sector. Is it or not? Public sector it is. Then communication system BSNL is owned by the government. So it is also public sector undertaking. Is it or not? Then can you say one example for private sector? Communication system, private sector is also there. Many private companies are investing in communication system. Tell me fast the example. Saraswati, tell me the example. The Reliance communication system is a private example. Is it or not? Then Like this way, many industries are there which are starting or owned and operated by individuals or group of individuals. They are called private sector industries. In the transportation system, both private and public sector is investing, so it can be called a joint sector. Transport buses are there owned by different governments, state governments, and at the same time there are private operators are also there. So it is a joint sector, both by the private and public sector. Health sector, both government and private individuals are there. Public hospitals are there. Medical colleges are public hospitals, while private hospitals are also there. So it is also a joint sector. Education system, government schools are there, private schools are there. So it is a private sector undertaking. Then Anand Steel, Tata Anand Steel is owned by a private firm. So it is a private sector undertaking. So based on the ownership, we can classify into 4 categories. Public sector, private sector, joint sector, and the last one is cooperative sector. Cooperative societies are very essential in agricultural sector. We were always discussing it. Is it or not? So what do you mean by cooperative sector? Either producers or suppliers of raw materials or workers are the owners of this industry, or both are there. Either producers are there, or suppliers are there, or both are there, or workers are the owners. One best example, we can say the sugar mills working under cooperative sector in Maharashtra. When I told you the industry, I told the example. Then the various Indian coffee houses are owned by the Indian Coffee House Workers Organizations. So like this way you can cite examples for either producers are the owners, or suppliers of raw materials are the owners, or the workers are the owners. So there are different examples or different undertakings are there under public sector, private sector, joint sector, and the workers or producers or suppliers of raw materials. It is called the cooperative sector. These are all different undertakings what we carry out in the classification of industry. So there are different classifications are there, or we can classify the industries based on different aspects. Its role, its ownership, the nature of the raw material, or the weight of the raw material. All these classifications we can make regarding the industries classification. To analyze one of the agro-based industries first. One major agro-based industry in our country is cotton industry. One of the major agro-based industry. This classification is based on Aditya. Raw materials. Okay. So agro-based industries. One agro-based industry is cotton industry. 14% of the industrial production is carried out by the cotton textile industry. Total industrial productions 14% is contributed by the cotton textile industry, and it is the largest sector of employment generation after agriculture. That is 35 million people are employed in this sector, or 35 million employees are in this sector. So it is the largest sector which provides employment opportunities to the people after the agricultural sector. Okay. Then regarding the foreign exchange of this industry, 24.6% of the foreign exchange is earned by this cotton textile industry. That is 4% of GDP is contributed by foreign exchange through the cotton textile industry. See the importance of the industry. It is based on agricultural sector. It is contributing to 14% of the industrial production, largest employment generating sector after agriculture, and 24.6% of the foreign exchange is earned by this sector. That is 4% of GDP is added by this foreign exchange. Then only self-reliant and complete value chain based industry. What do you mean by self-reliant? The raw material is cotton which is cultivated. Its all product are made from the cotton itself. Its yarn, its cloth, everything is made from the cotton itself. That is why it is called self-reliant. Nothing else is required for preparing its materials. That same itself is the best example of self-reliant industry. Cotton is cultivating, from that cotton ball we are collecting the cotton. That cotton is made into cotton yarn. From that yarn thread is made. Using that thread we are making the cloth. So it is self-reliant industry. And from the raw material to the finished article, it is in the value chain. If you sell the raw material as cotton or yarn or thread or finished article, whatever may be, it has its own value is there. So it is in the value chain also, from the raw material to the finished article, and also it is the self-reliant industry. See, in our olden days, I have told you the importance of generating the these small scale industries along with agriculture, so that we can reduce the over dependency on agriculture and the farmers will become self-reliant also. That was the olden practice of our villages. So they were doing weaving, they were doing small scale industries like jaggery making or curry powder making in their leisure time or in their off seasons, which provided an additional income to the farmers. Thus, they were managing their deficiency in income. So, we have to promote these small-scale industries for the self-reliancy of the farmers. Okay. Then, very ancient time onwards, one of the important factors which attracted foreigners to our country was this cotton, silk, then spices. All these were the important aspects which attracted the foreigners to our country. So it has, from ancient time onwards, its high value among the industrial products. Then, so it is self-reliant industry. Its all products are valuable. So it is in the value chain. Then there are different types of looms are there, making thread. They are called looms. There are handloom products are there. Power looms are there. So first all the people were doing by charka, handlooms they are doing. That's why it is costly also. We can make less quantity of product only by our hand. So handloom industrial products are always highly valuable products. So there are handloom sector is there. Handlooms are very good to wear because it is smooth and very comfortable for us, especially in the summer season. So some people are always fond of cotton only. They never use synthetic fibers or artificial fibers. So there are handloom products are there which is made by hands, charka, with the help of charka or spindles. Handloom spindles are there, and this is providing less productivity in the product. The quality is very good, so it is having high value also. Silk also like that way. We can produce less only. By hand we are making it, and that also has high value because of its quantity less, quality is very good. Then power looms. Power looms are run by the electricity and it increases the speed of productivity. So we can make large amount in power looms than the hand looms. Then first cotton mill was established in 1854 in Mumbai. First cotton mill was established during the time of the Britishers in our country. The first cotton mill was established in Mumbai, and today there are 1600 mills are there. 18% is in the private sector and the rest in the public sector. So private sector means who are the owners? Private sector means who are the owners? Come on, tell me fast. Tejesh, come on, tell me. Private individuals or group of individuals are the owners, Public sector means who are the owners? Public sector. Vinayaka. Who are the owners? Public sector means government is the owner. So there are 1600 mills are there nowadays, and 80% in the private sector and the rest under public sector. Then every year we can see that large contribution is made by the cotton textile industry in both in employment also and in productivity also. Then we can see that early years these industries were localized to the cotton growing belts of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of the easy availability of the raw material, transportation facility. Gujarat and Maharashtra both have ports and transportation is there. Black cotton soil in Maharashtra, so cotton grows well in this region. Then cheap labor availability, power supply, climatic conditions, all these factors adds to the growth of cotton in Maharashtra and Gujarat region. You have studied about the world wars. Nationalist movement, when you studied, also you studied last year when you studied French Revolution, Russian Revolution, Nazism, all these you studied. Then also you studied about the world wars, means you know. So during the time of the world wars, there was a great demand for Indian cotton textile products and jute products as their Britishers when engaged in war, they cannot supply the war needs, for making bags, for keeping their gun covers are required, horse bags are required, uniform for soldiers, all these are required. So that time there was a great demand for Indian cotton textile and jute products, which helped or which gave a boom to the cotton and jute mills of India. So from that time onwards, there was first the Britishers were much attracted by the cotton of our country. That's why they appointed, we have studied all these things in the Indian nationalist movement. They appointed even Gomastas to supervise the weavers and collect the materials from them. Slowly they began to collect the raw materials and they bought the finished articles. So our industries were under great crisis during those days. And after some time, this World War time, there was a great demand for Indian cotton textile industry because the Britishers were engaged in wars. They were not able to supply the materials in proper time. But after the war, the Britishers never able to possess their old position, and Indians were themselves supplying the cotton products. Okay, so anyhow we know one of the important thing which attracted foreigners from the ancient time onwards to India was cotton, jute and silk and spices, like various products which are very famous or very popular in their markets which collected from India. So first the cultivation limited to, or its distribution growing, everything is limited to the cotton growing regions of Gujarat and Maharashtra, which are major producers of cotton during those days because of the nearness to market, cheap labor, availability of raw materials easily, transportation network, electricity. All these are the factors which attracted these to settle down in Maharashtra and Gujarat itself. Then this is one of the major supporting industry also. It supports other industries. How it supports other industries? We require different color clothes. Only want you white color? No. We want to look colorful, and so we are using different colors. These are chemicals. So it supports the chemical industry by providing dyes. Dyes means color. Color which is adding to the clothes is called dyes. And also it requires packing materials are required to pack these cotton and or clothes to different areas. Packing are required. Transportation industry is there. Packing industry is there. Then chemical industry is also supported by the cotton industry. So it is one of the largest industry, not only self-reliant in its own production, but it is a supportive industry to many other industries also. Now in this cotton industry itself, there are different activities are there. Plucking the cotton balls. It is done by a group of people. Then we have to gin. Ginning means what? That is like using a comb. Like a comb. People in the early days, they were using it by hand. Nowadays, machines are using, they will make it into soft threads, they will make it into. So, spinning, then spinning the yarn, then making it into thread, then rolling it into this yarn rolls, making it into, then weaving. Like this way, different activities are engaged in the cotton textile industry, in which different group of people are engaged. That is why it is the largest labor intensive sector of the economy, where 35 million people are employed in a year. Okay, so you see the importance of industry, how they are contributing to the economy, how various people are engaged in various fields of the industry, the pluckers to the largest sector of production, engineers, chemical industry, transportation industry, manufacturing industry, all these are supported by the cotton textile industry. See the different correlation between different sectors of the economy, how they are correlated. That is why one sector's growth leads to the growth of other sectors. Okay, about cotton textile industries, spinning of the cotton textile industry is mainly limited to Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu. Spinning of the cotton yarn is mainly limited to Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. They are using their traditional skills also. They are using their traditional skills also in this. That is some kind of borders, zari works. Now this Andhra Pradesh is famous for Kalamkari prints. Like that way, some special designs, zari borders, all these are applied by the workers of this sector by using their traditional skills in this cotton spinning or weaving of the cotton textile products. Then khadi, all of you know khadi, khadar. Khadi is one of the largest employment generator, especially in the domestic sector, as they are providing employment opportunities to large number of people at home itself. So there is a great demand for khadi products also, and it is one of the largest employment generator in domestic sector of productivity. Then we are exporting this cotton to Japan, USA, UK, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, African countries and Sri Lanka. We are exporting these products to these countries also. Different countries we are exporting, and nowadays we have many power looms are there, but actually we should reduce the number of power looms and we should promote handlooms, so that we can have largest sector of employment to the people. Especially we can reduce the over dependency of employment in the agricultural sector. We can reduce the over dependency of employment. So we should promote maximum production of the handloom sector. We should encourage the handloom producers to weave the clothes in maximum, so that we can have largest employment opportunity to the people. Okay, so I hope you understood these topics. I will send the notes to the Google Classroom. Read the textbook also very well, and map question also will come from this chapter. Many multiple choice questions will also be asked, so you should read the textbook very well. And we will meet in the interactive session with the questions and answers. Stay safe at home. Thank you for your patient listening.